Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I want to pull some cards on some things. I've actually pulled the cards last week on the transition, and the transition issue is something that just keeps coming back into my consciousness, and it's something that I think I should go more into not in debt, but in depth about. And the reason that I want to is because I see a lot of other psychics, a lot of other readers are doing this, and they're talking about this. And this isn't to get your hopes up that something's going to happen or something's not going to happen, but everybody seems to be getting the same thing. Everybody is getting the message that he's going to transition, that the big fat orange problem is going to and it's not about a matter of months or years. This is a matter of weeks. And people are saying that this guy is going to transition. Now, I don't know. I'm just going to say I have no skin in the game as far as this concerns. I mean, I am in Germany. I do live in Europe. I have been living abroad for 30 years since leaving the U.S. back in 1995. So I really do not have any real skin in this game. What I do have is that the impact that this person has on the world is massive. We have got a tyrant in one of the highest offices in the world throwing his weight around, and he makes me think of the little kid who sits in the corner and just flings his food around because he's not getting his way. This is the image that I get. And I have been thinking a lot about what Susan Lynn said a couple of days ago in her video about the ghost of the big fat orange problem roaming about her house. And that would freak me the heck out. Okay? I'll just say it straight up. That would freak me out. I don't know how she managed to contend with that, with having this blubbering, blustering, bigoted BSer roaming around her house. I don't know how she was able to do that. And I seriously am just glad that she's okay and that that she was able to expel him from her house. But this got me to thinking, is this going to happen soon? And this is where my guides have kind of hedged with me on it. But I want to check the energy today. I'm not going to do daily energy checks on this, but I do want to check the energy on this and see if what the psychics are saying with relation to the big fat orange problem, if their assertions are accurate. I think they are, but um, let's just see. Are the psychics in tuned with the big fat orange problem and his ultimate phase? Faith. Faith. Hey, faith. Are they? And that's and I am not even eating mashed potatoes. I don't know what that is. But anyway. So are the other psychics in tune with the big fat orange problem's ultimate fate? Let's see what the yes and no cards have to say. Yes, they are. They are in tune. Okay. Some of them are saying September. Some of them are saying that he will transition in September. They haven't said it directly, but I'm probably going to get a blank card. But will he transition in September? Will he transition in September? Given the current energy, will he transition in September? Yes. Um, will the vice president, who Just Dance, will he become the new president? Will he become president? Will Just Dance become president. No. It's interesting. Okay. So what's going to happen in September? Okay. What's going to happen in September? That we can ask the cards. What is going to happen? Because I did a reading yesterday on September. What's going to happen in September? And I did a reading on that. And somebody wrote somebody I think it was Denise Knight Divination. She pulled cards on him, and she said hopes and fears, and she said, I don't care about his hopes and fears. I'm not going to read on hopes and fears because it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the hopes and fears, and I'm just going to pull 8 cards, and I'm going to, instead of focusing on the hopes and fears and the emotional outcome or concerns, I'm going to focus on uh, how he sees himself, how one sees himself. So on numbers, I'm going to write this down so that I can, so that I don't forget how you see yourself. One sees themselves. So that's what I'm going to do. Um, instead of focusing on uh, their emotional whatevers, because I don't really care. And I think that this is something that, and I want to actually mention something else too, but I'll do that after I do this September read, and we'll see what goes on here. Because I've been seeing some really interesting reads on. David did a really great read, and I have to recommend his channel. And if you haven't seen the video, go watch it because it's so good. It's Tarot by the Bay, and David did a read on narcissism and on the 5 stages of grief with narcissism, and it's an exceptionally good read. And I'm like, wow, that he was able to do the research on it, and then he did this absolutely amazing read on narcissism and the 5 stages of grief and narcissism. It's so exceptionally good. I couldn't top it even if I wanted to. Absolutely amazing read. But yeah, go and watch that one. It's really good. You won't regret it. And yeah, and if you get a chance, tell him I sent you. I doubt that's going to make much of a difference. But Gary did show up on my channel a few days ago, so that was like really cool. So, hey guys, hope you enjoy. Um, I think my cards got a little bit messed up, so I have to like through them again and see if they're okay. Okay, doopy doopy doo. I'm not. I'm not. Okay, these look good. These. Okay. Okay. They're all turned the right way. Okay. Alrighty. Alright. So, let's get the energy going for September. They said the psychics. The question I asked the yes and no cards was whether or not the psychics were um, whether or not the psychics on YouTube were accurate in their summation and what they're saying weeks and not months. So, let's see what the cards have to say, because this is really, I think things are really finally just coming to an end point. I think we're like at the end of the line, end of the road on all of this. And I think that the more people watch what's going on, the more they see all these signs of all these things. And people are talking about medical things, and they're saying medical, his health is gonna, is deteriorating very quickly. And it looks like that whenever he shows up on TV, one of the things I notice is he's always wearing one of these stupid hats. And I mean, I like hats. I wear hats when I'm outside and stuff, but when I'm inside, I don't wear hats. Because, well, for one thing, I have a baseball cap that I wear sometimes, and you've seen it on some of the videos. And that hat gets so sweaty because I sweat like here when I'm wearing it outside. And that's just to block the sun. But anyway, I sweat. And I had to actually wash the hat once because I sweated so much that the hat got discolored. So I stuck it in a bag and put it in the wash machine, washed it, let it, and then I dried it outside. And a lot of people are saying that, or actually they're not saying, but I kind of suspect that he has issues with his hair, which is why he's always wearing these stupid hats. He doesn't want people to see his hair. He doesn't want people to see his head. And the best way to conceal injuries and what have you is to have something covering. A hat on the head, or doing this with the hands. I mean, if you have like a bruise here on your hand and you don't want people to see it, what do? You cover it up. And that's what he's doing. And so I think that basically his health is what's going to, I think justice isn't going to come for him, but his health is. And then he can deal with the justice on the other side. That's what I think is going to happen. But I don't think the justice system is going to get him, and especially since he's just totally messed it all up with the justice system. There's no justice system really in the States right now. It's kind of anarchy. At least that's how I see it. Because you've got people being arrested for nothing, then they're trumping up ideas and stuff to save their own backsides. Yeah, that's what's happening. So what's going on in September? I've rambled on long enough. What's going on in September? What is going on in September? One more? Okay, one more. They're sending me one more. They want me to make sure these cards are really good mixed up. And they said that was good. Good shuffle. Okay, there we go. Temperance. The Temperance card is about balance. And September is going to bring some balance to things. And it may be an idea or notion that uh, transition is coming, and it may be an idea that once that happens, that everybody's going to have to kind of balance things out. There's going to have to be some semblance of balance going on in the country to make sure that things happen as they should. So that's a sort of a balance thing. Temperance always means like the sense of balance, of weighing and doing your weights and measures and making sure everything balances out right. And it's crossed by the Four of Cups. This is the idea of being given something and not accepting it. But it's also an idea that there's a lot of heartbreak, and there's a lot of people that are going to realize that they've been bamboozled, if you will. And so they're going to be looking at this and they're going to be saying, oh my God, this is what happened and I really fell for all of this. And I think that that's what Gavin Newsom is trying to show them. He's trying to show them in a very profound way that they have been following a charlatan, and that they've been listening to a bunch of lies and untruths about, not just about people, but about groups of people, about Latinos, about African Americans, about any person who isn't white, straight, and like them. And they're going to have to realize that they've been bamboozled by this, that they have been brought into this notion of hate, and that they have screwed themselves because of it. This desk is also kind of small, so but I have to lay the cards out so I can see them. Um, the underlying energy is the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is, well, look at all the people here. They're in the shadows, but you can see the people here in the card. And then you've got Mr. Pompous, high and mighty up on his horse. But nobody cares. Nobody cares. They have been so put out and put off by this person that nobody cares anymore. They do not care. In the immediate past, we have the Ace of Cups. And this is the Ace of Cups is a new beginning. And a card just fell on the floor. The card at the base of the deck just fell on the floor. Okay. and that's a Hierophant, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Um, the Ace of Cups is about the phases, and you see the moon phases here. And there's also talk that there's going to be an eclipse. And I don't know when that eclipse is happening, if it's in September or if it's already happened or if it's, but the phases of the moon and the behaviors of people come into being and they come into question. So in the immediate past you have this these phases, and you have people saying, will it be acceptable for me? I think that this is about a new beginning. And I think that this is about trying to find, uh, well, how can I say it? Let me just get the book, because I think that there's something here, and I can't really put my finger on it. Okay, let's see. Also, Ace of Cups. Here we go. A beautifully ornate golden cup magically sits afloat on the water, representing feelings and emotions. The phases of the moon also symbolize our emotions. It's shown in the heavens. A large eye gazes up on the cup with three golden streams of light pouring from it into the cup. This could symbolize our three levels of being: physical, emotional, and spiritual. The recognition that love is the pure energy that can fill on every level. Aces symbolize new beginnings. The water element represented by cups stands for emotions. Um, yeah, so our emotions are kind of at this place. We're like, this is where our emotions are coming into being. So in the immediate past, we have our emotions and what we think and how we feel about what's going on. Okay, that was a lot of waffling for just a little card, but anyway. The overarching energy is Five of Wands. And as David and Gary call this the hillbilly brawl card, well, that's what it is, conflict. Regardless of what happens in September, that conflict is still there. And regardless of what happens to the big fat orange problem, he's leaving behind and I said, okay, he's leaving behind a conflict. He's leaving behind this us versus them mentality that has to be addressed by sociologically, it has to be addressed. Otherwise, things just aren't going to be, they're not going to be in order. So that's what the overarching energy, that's what overarching all of this is, this conflict, us versus them, these people versus each other. And his attitude is about trying to create that conflict so that people will look somewhere else. It's like, here's a shiny object, look over here. Here's something else. Here's a conflict here, look over there. Here's Chicago, look there. Here's Los Angeles, look there. Here's the e-files have been basically shoved to one side because he's creating all these different conflicts everywhere else so that he thinks that people will ignore the e-files and not think about them. And this is what's coming out. This overarching energy is this conflict that he's creating because he doesn't want people to look where they should be looking. He's trying to distract them from everything else. And then in the immediate future, we have the Page of Wands. My little cheat sheet here so that I get this right. The Page of Wands. Active and energetic, cheerful, optimistic. So this is our immediate future. This is the cheerfulness, the happiness. There's going to be some. We've had the conflict, and now we're looking ahead to something a little bit better. So that is. I think that's a good card for us. I think that this optimism is what we need. We need to keep our energy levels high. We need to keep them positive, and we need to just look ahead to the future in an optimistic way. Okay, and so I said for number 7, how one sees themselves. How does he see himself? He sees himself as the Eight of Wands. Now, whether this is factual or not, the Eight of Wands represents somebody moving forward and feeling like that they have already overcome something really challenging, and that now they've like the sky's the limit, and that they can just move forward and do whatever it is they want to do. And that's what he thinks he's going to be able to do. Um, but this is how he sees himself. He sees himself as the Eight of Wands, as being able to move forward, charge ahead, and not have to worry about consequences. How other people see them is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is the unify, trying to unify and trying to unify each other. And I don't think this is him. I don't think he's trying to unify people. I think he's trying to divide people. Because I think in essence that this Two of Cups is also demonstrative of whether or not we are unified together. And he is actually, no. You know what I think this is? I think it is that he is the great unifier because everybody's turning against him. That's what I think it is. He has unified everybody from both sides of the aisle, from both ideologies, from the Republicans to the Democrats. He has unified them against him. There's one thing that everybody can agree on is that they don't like this guy. That's what they're okay. And the final outcome, you're gonna love this one. The Tower. What's a reading about the big fat orange problem without a tower card showing up? Final outcome, collapse. Everything around him is collapsing. Everything around him is going to collapse. That is what we're getting. Is right now, you've got all these health issues going on, and people are focusing on his health. But you also have the e-files. You have all this stuff going on with Garcia, bless his heart, sending light to him and his family. And we've got governors speaking out. We've got people speaking out. We have people rising up against him, and people are unifying against him. They're unifying against him, and so what you've got is you've got this Tower card that's going to come in September. Because I said I'm reading on September. What's going to happen in September? And this is the outcome. This is the outcome of September. What's going to happen in September is this Tower card. This is huge. This is really, really big. This is going to change everything. And because I asked about Just Dance, let's do a little, let me pull four cards on him and what's going to happen with him, because I think that he will not become president, regardless of what happens to the big fat orange problem. I don't think Just Dance is going to become president. I do not think that that's going to happen. And a lot of psychics have been getting the same thing. I think Susan Lynn got that. I think Linda G got it. And I think Mel Dore said something about even if he does get it, it's going to be for such a short period of time, then it's not going to matter anyway. And the other thing about Just Dance is that he does not have the support that the big fat orange problem has. He does not have the backup and the support that the big fat orange problem has. And this is for entertainment only. I should have said at the beginning, but this is for entertainment and spiritual purposes only. There's no scientific arrogant whatever to this. This is just me pulling cards to see what I can find out or what I can ascertain about whatever. So there's no science here. This is just me pulling cards, okay? So, with that out of the way, let's see what Just Dance is, what his cards look like. And see what, Just Dance. Universe knows who I'm referring to. They know who I'm referring. The Vice President of the United States. I just call him Just Dance. Yeah. What can you tell me about Just Dance? Give me four cards here. Four cards. And I'll just pull them and then I'll hold them up. One more. Okay, here we go. One, two, 3, 4. Okay, 4 cards. Alrighty. So first I got the 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles is the harvest. This is you reap what you sow. And if you sow goodness and kindness and generosity and all the things that are good in the world, then you will have the harvest of all the things that are good in the world. With Just Dance, I'm not so sure he's going to have the harvest that he really wants. And then we got the Hermit, isolation, being alone. You know, sometimes people say the Hermit is also the little light. This guy's light is being snubbed out because the big fat orange problem clearly does not like him, and he clearly is he's trying to take over all the power. Even though he's as sick as a dog, he's trying to take over all the power. So this is leaving Just Dance really, really isolated. He's really isolated in all of this. And then we've got the Fool. How perfect. What else can I say? This guy's an idiot. He's an absolute fool. And everybody sees it and nobody likes him. He's trying to sound cool. He's like the kid. He's like the kid at school who says, "Oh, I did this, 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 and this," because he wants everybody to think he's the coolest kid in the class. And what really happens is he comes out and he says a bunch of stuff, and everybody says, "What a nincompoop." That is him. That is what people are seeing with him. And finally, we got the Three of Pentacles. Shiny object. Look at me. Look at me. Look at what I can do. But it's not much. It's really not much. He's saying, "Look at what I can do." This guy, look at this guy. He's right here. He's holding up this pentacle, and he's like kind of like showing it. He's like saying, "Look at this. Look at this. Look at what I can do. Look at what I can do." And yet, it's really not that much. But he's so proud of it. But he has no reason to be. So that is what I'm getting with him. I'm getting that Just Dance is just nothing. He's just really a big nothing burger. And even if he becomes the president, his power is going to be so limited because nobody likes him. People will not want to do what he says, and they're not going to want to. They're not going to want to have anything to do with him. So, yeah. That's what that is. But so well, let me ask the yes and no cards here. Okay. I do love my little pouch. So, will Just Dance, and the universe knows who I'm referring to, will he become president? Will Just Dance become president, even for a day? Will he become president? No. I got it again. Okay, I asked it earlier and I got the same result. No, he will not. So who will? Will it be like Libby suggested that the oh, well, let's just ask the yes and no cards again. Will it be as Libby prophesies that it will be like a small group of Republicans and Democrats who take the office as a sort of a collaboration or as a group? Will this be a collaboration or a group of former? Oh, where's the other card? Other card? Other card? Okay, one of the cards has. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. Okay. Will there be a small group? I don't know, a coordinated group of former leaders, presidents, what have you, who will take over and like do a collaboration type of thing. Is that what Libby said going to be what happens? Will there be like a small coordinated group like Obama, Bush Jr., or actually W. Bush, who else? Biden, the Clintons. Will they all work together as a small group uh, after all of this? Yes. Okay. So, yeah. So that is Libby's prediction. I thought was when she first talked about it. I thought that's crazy. That's never happened before in American history. And I know I studied American history. I know it never happened. But Libby was so positive about it that this was going to happen, and I thought I just wasn't sure. But she said that's what her guides told her, and I said I have no reason to doubt what her guides have said. I mean, I've heard her guides on her videos. She actually does videos, and then she says if you hear like the sounds of something and there's nobody else in the house, she said then that's my guides. And I've actually heard Meister say stuff. I He hasn't been like words. It's been like kind of grunts and kind of strange sounds and stuff like that. And if my guides were actually if somebody okay, I'm gonna say this straight up. If my guides come on my videos and you hear sound, and this room is pretty sound tight, so there's nothing going on. But if you hear a sound during a video, then please let me know. Please leave it in the comments because I would really like to know. Somebody once said they saw an orb by my head when I was recording a video in here, and they said that there was an orb that just was by the right side of my face, and I was like, going, wow. So, but if you hear anything and it's not something that sounds like a human or whatever, let me know. Leave a comment and let me know in any video I do. Because I mean, if my guides are here and I hear them, but basically it's not really verbal sounds. It's more sounds in here. So when I hear something, when they say like stop shuffling, I hear it. You don't because it's not said. It's not verbally said on the video. But when I'm here and they say stop shuffling or use the card on the bottom of the deck or what have you, then it's usually them telling me this. And it's not really words verbally. It's like a feeling. It's like this intense emotional draw that I need to stop shuffling or that I need to stop. So it's not always a verbal say stop shuffling or when I'm writing the meditation that they say, oh yeah, you need to do this, that, and the other. It's like an emotional draw that says do this, and so that's what I'm getting. And so yeah, so a small group. Okay, what about the Speaker of the House? Let's ask about that because this is really interesting. The Speaker of the House, um, he calls himself Moses Mike, so I'll just leave that. Will Moses Mike be in power, out of power soon? Will Moses Mike be out of power soon? Moses Mike be out of power soon. No. Okay, so he's going to probably be there until the midterms, but he's not going to be able to do very much. Once the big fat orange problem's no longer there, he's going to really have no clout in the whole thing. So, at any rate, so I wanted to read on something else. I wanted to pull tarot on something else, and I forgot what it was. Okay, so yeah, well, let me pull on the group that is what the group I think it's like 5 or 6 people. I think it's like Obama, Bush Jr., W. Bush, Clinton, maybe Hillary. I'm not sure. Um, Biden and Kamala Harris, maybe. So I get the impression that it may be those five or so, and then maybe Liz Cheney or something. So they have to have like on both sides of the aisle. People you may not like necessarily, or people that you absolutely adore and think the world of. Like Obama. Okay. I think Obama's one of my favorite people orators. He's very, very smart. He's very, and even if you may not like Obama per se, you got to give the guy credit. He's got the chops to do a speech, and he is very good at making his point. I think another person who can do that is Gavin Newsom. His team is like very good. So let's pull on the small group that will be taking over the leadership, the reins of leader. I'm not going to say presidency, but taking over the reins of leadership in the country. Well, the cards keep falling and flopping and everything. Maybe I'm just doing this too fast. I don't know. But anyway, so what about the group? Can you tell me about the group that will be taking the reins of leadership? And this is again for entertainment only. This isn't going to happen. It isn't, cast in stone that it's going to happen. This is just how the energy feels right now. Okay, that's how it is right now on August 26, 2025. Okay. Okay. What does the energy have for me on the small group of people who are small group of people in the White House? The Ace of Cups. New beginnings, starting new, fresh. This is a yes card. I mean, so yeah, this is a good starter card. This was in the other read too, but I think it had a different meaning there than it does here. This is the overwhelming of information of it's water energy, and so it is about the phases and about the new beginning, a new start. So this is definitely a new beginning, new start on everything. It's crossed by the Three of Cups. I always saw this as the fairies dancing. This is the support, I think, behind them doing this. As in, this isn't just people coming in and saying, "Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this." This is the support behind it. The underarching energy is the Hermit, and we're getting a lot of the same cards we got in the other pull, but in different situations. And the underarching energy is that this is the small light. This is a small beam of light that is the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. And it's not an isolation. These people are not isolated, but they are bringing the light. They're bringing things to light. So this may mean that with the lawlessness away from the reins of governance, that these small beams of light are going to come together to create a bigger light. And I think that that's what it is about. In the immediate past, we have the Ten of Cups. And I don't know if this is the immediate past. And this may be after the transition. This may be the happiness and the joy or the relief that people feel after the transition. Now, I'm not supporting it either one way or the other, but I am saying this is, when people who are evil perish, there is a sense of relief and there's a sense of happiness that they are no longer there and that they are no longer able to create this problem or this issue with people. So is this a good card for the immediate past? Yeah. There This brings in this idea that people can accept that these beams of light are coming in. So I think that this is the transition of the big fat orange problem. This is this is the reaction of the people. People are not going to they may not be dancing in the streets, but there's going to be a sense of relief, especially for immigrants. And I have to say something about that. I'm going to say something about that at the very end, so hopefully I won't forget. But This is a sense of relief for these people who come to the states wanting the freedom and the things that the states offers, and then being treated like criminals. So there's a sense of relief there that after this transition happens, that these people are going to feel a bit better. Put your cards around here. The overarching energy is the King of Cups, and the King of Cups is relaxed, contented, warm, genuine, easygoing, and everybody likes them. So the people that will be coming in as the group to take over the reins of governance, these people are well liked people. These are people that people respect, that people admire, that people they sense the goodwill of those people. And again, this could be people from both sides of the aisle, not just Democrats, but also Republicans. So these could be people that are well liked within the reins of their party, but also well liked among the people. Because, I mean, in order for this to happen, you have to have somebody who's going to be kind, compassionate, and understanding. If you do not have that, then then you have chaos and tyranny and everything else. So in the immediate future, we have the Seven of Swords. I think that what this is this is going after all of these people who have instigated all of these problems and all of these things. So now you've got a legal or lawful or law abiding government coming in, and they're going to weed out all of these people who have been doing all these horrible, rotten, terrible things to people, specifically in the Justice Department, in the Defense Department, and in the Homeland Security Department, and countless other departments. And so these people are going to be trying to pick up their swords, and they're going to be trying to escape from all of this stuff. But the reality is, these people are going to be on the target list, and now they're going to have to explain themselves. Okay. Let me. Um. So how they see themselves? They see themselves as the Empress. The Empress is the energy of rebirth, of feminine energy, of giving people what they want and what they need, and not folding to the wants and the whims of a tyrant. So this is like a new rebirth. This is a rebirth of democracy. Um, how others see you, they see you as the Eight of Wands. And here again, we have the Eight of Wands, which is charging forward, moving forward. And I think this was in the exact same place in the other. No, this was how they see themselves in the other read. So this is how others see you, and this is the moving forward and having the courage. And after a long defeat, moving forward and saying, "Yeah, we're gonna get through this, and we're going to move forward. We're gonna march forward and you know." And do what's best for the country. Their hopes and fears are the Three of Swords. They're fearful. They're worried. They're concerned that because this is unprecedented, because this is a difficult time, that they see themselves, that this is heartbreaking, that they are heartbroken about having to do this. And I think that this isn't about them betraying anybody's trust, because they didn't. But this is their concern about what people might think or what people might perceive about them betraying their trust. And I think that this is a very profound read on this, that these folks are coming in and they're saying, we don't want to have to do this, but we have to do it because the country's in shambles right now. And now we have to come in and we have to rebuild all of these heartbreaking things. And this is sad. I mean, this is sad that people have to do this because one man decided that he was more important than everybody else and had to do this. But this is the heartbreak of having to take apart what one person did and try to rebuild. And this is not just on a national scale, this is on an international scale. The reputation of the U.S. is in shambles right now. People do not trust the U.S. government as far as they can throw them. Today, the Postal Service in Germany has ceased to send commercial products to or from the U.S. That is, you cannot, like if you go on eBay and you say that this is a commercial product and this product is situated in the USA and you're in Germany, like I am, and you want to order said product, like a deck of tarot cards or what have you, from a supplier or an Etsy shop in the US, you won't be able to. You won't be able to. Starting today, you will not be able to. Or actually starting yesterday. They started that yesterday. And in Germany, they're doing it. All over the EU, they are doing it. In Australia, they are doing it. In Japan, they are doing it. In the UK, they are doing it. Yeah. And they have to rebuild that. They have to rebuild that trust and that sense of trust with a country that has, in 7 months or 8 months or however, 8 months, has completely dismantled and destroyed any element of trust that anybody else could have in them. So, yeah. Final outcome, 7 of Cups, chaos. Right now, things are in chaotic state. And there's no denying it. Even with a group coming in to try and clean up the mess, it's going to take a long time to clean up that particular mess. It's going to take a long time. So that's what I got on that. Okay, and so what I wanted to tell you was I feel my heart is broken for this poor young man in the States. His name is Garcia, I believe his last name. He has like four names or something, like two first names and then two last names or something. He's got like a hyphenated last name or something. But his last name is Garcia. And my heart is broken for him. As an immigrant living in Germany, I have been living here for 30 years. And the thought of somebody coming in and breaking down my door to arrest me and deport me to another country is positively the most heartbreaking thing that I could imagine. And as a U.S. citizen living abroad, I do not take for granted the fact that I am living in a free country right now, that I live in Germany, and that even with all of the problems that may be in the German government and with the AfD and with all these other, groups and things like that, we live in a relatively under a centrist government. And I am a progressive. I'm a leftist, progressive type person. That's where my politics are. And as somebody like that who is vocal and says what I think about certain things, the thought of somebody coming in and deporting me to Uganda or to Costa Rica or to any other country is just, for me, it's just mind blowing because I've lived here for 30 years. My life is here. All of my possessions are here. All of the things that I hold dear in my life are here. This is my home. And for somebody to say, oh, well, why don't you just leave? That's not so easy. It is not easy to pick up your pieces and move to another place because of a government that is tyrannical and evil. And so my heart goes out to Mr. Garcia And my hope is that he will be able to find peace wherever it is in the world that he happens to be. But he should not be shipped off to Uganda. He should not be shipped off to Costa Rica. He should be able to stay at home with his family and live his life as he did before all this dastardly BS happened to him. And I may have it good because I'm a white woman living in a European country. I do not know the experiences that black and brown people have, and I cannot and I will never say that I do or can. But I can sure show empathy for them. And I can say that if something like that were to happen to me living here in Germany, I would be absolutely devastated. And I thank God every day that I live here. I am so glad that I live where I live. And next week, on Tuesday in a week, I will be signing all the paperwork to become a German citizen. And I am so proud of that fact. Because right now, I am ashamed of being American. I am ashamed. And that's not an easy thing to say because I grew up loving my country. I grew up respecting the ideals and the values that came with being American. And today, I don't anymore. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. Anyway, so I've been rambling for 50 minutes now. This is the longest video since I started doing these, but I had to say that because it really does break my heart. And so I'm sending a lot of light, a lot of encouragement, support, emotional support to Mr. Garcia, to his family, to his friends, to all the people who are affected by all of this. My respect to you, my admiration to you, and my hope that you will find peace very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. I'll try and put some links to some other intuitives on my down below. But you can probably find them all there. I think a lot of people follow a lot of these different intuitives on here, and we're all on the same boat, basically. So take care, and as always, namaste.